What's up? It's your boy Carcino here, and let's talk about it. 50 Cent. It's 50. When they talk about 50 Cent, they talking about the usual project and what I got coming out. But if you look at the overall perception, you see that when 50 Cent is mentioned, my records and what I do, I generate a lot of buzz and a lot of attention without even putting out an album. And that's the truth. When 50 does that, he generates a lot of attention and he doesn't have to put out a record. He gets stuff to move, he gets projects to move. Here's an artist that sold so many records in rap, then actually goes into a whole nother industry, causes a wave there, then he's on TV shows, no matter what he's doing, people are talking 50. Whether people like 50 Central or not, and it just had one episode, people talking about it. And people that didn't even know about it or didn't even see it, it's like, man, what is this, man? What is it? And they just got to give it time. But 50 also mentioned something that a lot of people didn't really catch this week during his promotional run. And he talked about the Chris Lighty situation. Now, when Chris Lighty had his deal with Violator was releasing its own album. And this is back in like 2001 during that time. And they were going to put, 50 Cent on there with the artwork with Busta, LL, Mobb Deep, all of them on that album. They were going to put 50 Cent on the record. And then they were going to use that to try to get 50 Cent and G Unit their own deal. And at this time, I think this was what, 2002. Could be wrong. I thought it was 2002. Whatever. The album was coming out, and Chris Lighty was gonna get him a record deal before Eminem called. That was the move. That was the whole plan. Then when Eminem, like he said, Eminem called on a Friday. He was out there Saturday. He came home like on a Sunday and was like, "I'm doing the Eminem deal." And Steve Stout tried to talk him out of it. No, no, don't do that. Don't sign with a white boy. So naturally, it worked out for him because now 50 Cent owns all his masters, which is very rare. It only takes an artist a lot of years to get their masters, but 50 Cent ran into a situation where I told you with him and with Interscope with Jimmy, if you listen to Changes, he mentions it very briefly. I don't know if you guys ever like heard it. Um, I don't know if you guys remember Changes, but he's mentioned it. It was all over headphones. Jimmy couldn't wait for 50 Cent to fly. And that's what's the whole thing. Like, I can't wait for him to fly. All over some headphones. Because he felt 50 tried to basically cause division by going and getting buying the company. He bought the actual company and tried to get his own headphones. And was like, oh, y'all see the direction I'm going instead of joining Beats. You want to go ahead and be a competitor, which he really wasn't. He was like, we're too small to be a competitor, but you're on Interscope. You're wearing a different headphone. That's not Beats. We're going to have a problem. So that was the attitude. And then when they did a video, everybody is wearing and he's wearing a SMS audio hat in the video, while everybody else got on beats when it's Dre, Eminem, and on I think it was probably the One Day video or something or something. One video they had or whatever record that was that had them in the video, and he had an SMS audio hat, and Jimmy lost it. That was it. Jimmy did not want 50 Cent anymore on Interscope. He wanted nothing to do with him, and he kept trying to sabotage things that 50 was working on. And 50 told Bergman, he said, "Hey, I don't know how to not respond to somebody I think is trying to hurt me, and I'm gonna end up hurting somebody over here." So like I think it's best, yeah, we end this relationship now because I don't know how to not hurt somebody. So they just let 50 go. And once they let 50 go, that was it. They just couldn't wait for him to flop. So they started using this tied into the Steve Stout situation. Because Steve Stout works with Interscope at this point. Now this is a guy who told 50 don't go sign with Dre. If you can get a deal with Dre, cool. But don't sign with White Boy. Meanwhile, who that came up under Dre is successful? Snoop and Eminem. So Dre came in once he realized, well, I'm gonna get a piece of this because you might be on to something, and we can make this a big budget project. This will get us that street appeal. Because a lot of you don't remember 50 was the sound of the streets at the time. From the mixed tapes perspective, especially New York, East Coast, they had that. So now you got East Coast, Midwest, West Coast. But Eminem is global. He's 3 albums in. Now 50 Cent was gonna 50 had a lot of ideas that they just weren't with. He was like the movie that you saw to get the Before Self Destruct movie. 50 wanted to put that like on get a distribution deal, put it on MTV. They wasn't trying to hear nothing he was trying to say. They were sabotaging his album. I knew then they're 50 and 50 knew that. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do on my end, but I already know the energy's not right. So it's time to go. Period. See, when the energy is not the same and nobody feels your passion, it's like you being held captive. And sometimes people think it's got to be over money, and not about money. It's about creative aspects. And after 50 Cent's first album, like he said, they didn't even want to do a G Unit album. Not like that. They wanted 250 albums. Then we could start talking about G Unit. 50's like, nah, I'm putting out G Unit next. And if you look at, because he did that, Everybody else who like D12 or like he said, Saint Lunatics, all those guys, you didn't really see them till after like 2 albums in from like Nelly and everybody else. You saw them, but you didn't know any of those guys. And like today, do you really know any of the characters or people from them groups? The general public don't. They couldn't tell you who was who. If you showed a picture of the group, they'd be like, I think he rap with Eminem. But you know everybody in your unit. You'll say, oh, that's Lloyd Banks. Oh, that's Tony Yayo. Yayo only put out one single album. But you'll know him. You know Buck. Nobody knew Young Buck when he was with Cash Money. Nobody cared to get to know him. Then you got the situation with the loyalty. People's like 50, 50 is the most loyal person you know. He talked about like when I see Birdman or when I see Nori. Nori was the first one to rap on my album. Birdman put him on and let him open up for Juvie when Juvie was hot during that time. So things was at that time it was very cordial. Even though Master P would say, I had something to do with that. Well, him and Birdman, just because he gave him the opportunity, just because Nori came and rapped on his records, and this is back when Nori was what? Now me, I never trusted him because that's just my intuition about Nori. He's too sketchy. He jumped from spot to spot. I can't. Mm, I'm like, he the type would be like, yo, what's up, dog? That was crazy what happened to you yesterday. Like, dog, you was standing over there when they were shooting with me. They were shooting at me. You was standing right there. I saw you. And they shooting at me. Yeah, man, I was just walking up. Like, I know him. You know what I'm saying? He'll be standing right next to the person that's trying to do you in. And I'll be like, okay, no too many Nortons. Can't do it. But 50's loyal. He was like, oh, you need me to be somewhere? I'm there. And see, that stuff you can't buy that. That's something that's gotta be earned. Nori probably didn't even know, like, man, I can't believe it. Like 50 still would deal with me like this. If you never crossed him, you ain't got nothing to worry about. He's a very loyal human being. But just don't disrespect. And people need to take a page out of his book and be like, man, how does this guy get like all these deals to go in place? This dude told the president, the owner of Stars Network, that everybody went out publicly and told them, shut it off. Shut Stars off. Cancel your season right now. And people went out and did that. Like, I'm canceling Stars. And Stars came and sat down and it's like, look, whatever you want, you got it. It took like maybe less than a day. They got a massive contract. Massive. Less than a day. They got one of the biggest contracts on tape. I can't tell you a bigger deal. He got 3 shows, Power, everything. You know how many shows Stars had? Stars put out everything. They even put out Encore to put out their other movies, which is mostly urban blacks. They even tried the old black TV shows. Like you saw Jeffersons one time. I'm like, the Jeffersons on Stars or Encore? They start doing anything they could to try to keep the blacks there. So that shows you the blacks matter. You do matter. They just want your money. You might not have your rights, but they want your money. That ain't never changed. So if you know that, you know they trying to do anything possible to keep you happy if they feel they losing you. Because you affect their money. So once that happens, Stars is they used to eating, now they eating steak and lobster. They can't go back to McDonald's. They were like, look, we've been doing good because of Power. People watching our other shows. Who would have thought Survivor Remorse would get an entire show, a series to last this long? If it wasn't next to Power, and it don't have Power numbers, but it got decent enough ratings to where people be like, man, that's what's up. Look at that show. It's on. Let me watch it. Let me see if I like it. You see what that does? That generates money for your entire network. How many times you seen Stars? You seen Power on like 4 different channels. There'd be different episodes during the season. And then people watching. They've already seen it, but they want to see it again. They watching them. Stars got everybody to go ahead and get their app, and they use Power to do it. Because I know I downloaded the app because of Power. I'm like, wait a minute, it's midnight. Where's Power? Everybody talking about the episodes. Oh man, Power's on. And everybody's like, it's not on demand. Where can I find it? Oh, I gotta go download the Stars app. So the first couple of episodes on demand didn't even have it first. You had to go and get it off of the actual network and go through the app. So when you pull that run, now you're looking at a whole nother new situation. Because you can pull that over people's eyes. Like, man, now that's done. Now what's next? So going into this season, almost more than last year, I believe we finally finna get a 12 episode out. 50 got a deal. We're gonna get the BMF series now. They finally came up with the money and said, all right, 50, you win. So we might be seeing something big here that's in the developments that's coming as him being an executive producer. Now you look at Jay-Z. Jay-Z has had a ton of failures. Tons. None of them have been magnified. They only magnify his successes. And that's very good of his team around him to the fact that you never see Jay-Z when he really failed. You know, Jay-Z had another record label, the Sean Carter record label, the Sean Carter collection. And Tata was the one running the label under his name, Sean Carter. He was already positioning himself to try to start something outside of Rockefeller. And the Sean Carter collection ended up failing. And when it failed, you know, that was that. Like Rock Nation Boxing, you know, that's proving to be failing right now. It's not proven to be successful. When your most successful fight was Miguel Cotto and Canelo, and it made you some revenue, that was the only card that they put together that they recouped their money until Andre wore Kobe. That's 2 years. Miguel Cotto didn't fight for a whole year and a half. So all that long gap you had in between, you wasn't really making any money. You got Andre Ward to do 2 pay-per-views in 1 year. True. And did we ever get the numbers back from them pay-per-views? We never did. Jay-Z had put out, I don't know how many hip-hop artists when he was with Rockefeller. Benny Siegel, Milk Bleak, all these guys who rapped with him for years had solo projects. Where are they now compared to where G-Unit artists are? You know, they doing tours overseas. They got stuff set up. They working. You know, you got Kid coming in. He was with Cash Money, Young Money. You know, he was with Wayne and them. Now look at him. So you got to ask yourself, who's really doing what? It's all about perception. If I give you the perception Jay-Z is doing better, and I'm only highlighting all his successes, then, you know, man, it looks like, man, this dude can't lose. But with 50, people want to hate him so much because they can't stand him that anytime he takes a loss or something, it's magnified. Boom. He went through bankruptcy. Boom. Look at that. 50s. Look at it. His thing didn't sell. Boom. Everybody want to pile on. But when he's successful, oh man, that ain't gonna do nothing. Oh man, that ain't gonna do nothing. This dude went to the big screen, put out about 7 movies. Some of them went straight to video, but they made the movies. They got like over what $100 million, $200 million deal to put out like 7 movies
with Grindhouse. You know how I know? Because we was end up pitching a film to Grindhouse. 50 was putting these movies out. And these were great movies. They had Nicolas Cage in them. You had John Cusack in the movie. These movies were great. You guys, they were at the video store. You guys didn't even know 50 Cent probably had anything to do with them. He made appearances in a lot of those movies. He had a little small role. But you missed all these films. A lot of you guys just, they don't highlight his successes like they do Jay's. But I ain't gonna hold y'all there. I hold y'all long enough. I'm out.